Clouds make their nest on the ridges of Daegwallyeong. Daegwallyeong, as gentle and tender as a mother's embrace. The people of Gangneung cherished every stone of the land and every root of the trees, and for 1,000 years they have made their traditional culture flourish in brilliance. As countless years have passed, in that place, at the eastern end of the Korean peninsula, full of the wonders of life, the celebration of life in the name of the divine still continues. Chilsadang in Gangneung is bustling. At Chilsadang, once the government office, 1 week before the sacred wine is brewed, a sacred straw rope is hung, and red clay and salt are spread to block impurity. A furnace is set in the brewery, and a week later, in front of Gangneung City Hall, the Jishinbalgi and purification ritual are solemnly performed to cleanse all impure spirits. The mayor of Gangneung offers rice and yeast for the sacred wine, praying for the well-being and prosperity of the citizens. As the procession of the Danoje Preservation Association walked to Chilsadang, citizens also presented rice on the spot, welcoming the beginning of the festival. The rice voluntarily gathered by the citizens is the most sacred offering to the gods. The sacred wine is not merely a drink, but a rite of communion between gods and humans, and the spirit of Dano itself. Thus, the brewing of the sacred wine is conducted in a solemn atmosphere. Every year, citizens and visitors alike gather here to witness the sacred brewing of wine, the opening of the Gangneung Danoje Festival. 10 days later, on the full moon of the 4th lunar month, at Daegwallyeong Pass, where even the wind and clouds rest, dividing Yeongdong and Yeongso, stands the shrine of National Preceptor Bomil, the main deity of the festival, and the Sanshindang, where the spirit tablet of General Kim Yushin is enshrined. Daegwallyeong becomes the gateway connecting the human world and the world of the gods. After preparing the offerings with devotion, the officiant leads the procession up the old Daegwallyeong path. When the ritual officials, musicians, and shamans arrive at the Sanshindang, a sacred ritual is performed for the gods. Then, about 40 meters below, the rite at the Guksa Seonghwangsa is held, and the guardian spirit is brought forth. Old records in Imyeongji describe the procession to enshrine the guardian spirit as a magnificent sight, with hundreds of people carrying offerings, walking up the winding Daegwallyeong path. Next, the ritual of enshrining the sacred tree is performed. The shamans and attendants climb into the forest behind the shrine and stop before a maple tree believed to hold the spirit. At the moment the eyes of the tree keeper meet the will of the god, the tree begins to tremble. That tree then becomes the sacred tree. The tree rising toward the sky becomes the channel through which human wishes are delivered to the gods, and divine will is received. When the mountain spirit rite and the guardian spirit rite conclude, a vibrant exorcism is performed to drive away impurity. Continuing through Gusan Seonangje and Haksan Seonangje all day long. The procession circles the village and reaches the Yeoseonghwangsa. There, an enshrinement ritual is held to place the guardian spirit together in the shrine. On the evening of the 3rd day of the 5th lunar month, 2 days before Dano, the ritual officials and shamans arrive at the shrine, and the troupe stops at the birthplace of Maiden Jeong to perform a ritual. Gathering the wishes for peace and well-being of the community, the grand spirit procession begins in earnest. As the spirit tablet and sacred tree from the shrine are carried to the Dano festival altar at Namdaecheon, it becomes a true scene of participation and harmony, connecting people to one another. The street games of Shintong Daegyeol, carried out with the spontaneous participation of citizens, heighten the festive spirit, bringing the atmosphere to its peak. The streets filled with spectators all join in, celebrating the opening of the festival. Thus, as the joy of the citizens grows and grows, the sacred tree finally arrives at the festival site. When the sacred tree, filled with the spirit of the guardian deity, is enshrined at the central altar of the festival, people cast aside the burdens of daily life and immerse themselves in celebration. With folk games, festive gatherings, and colorful performances, the Gangneung Danoje Festival each year creates new programs that reflect the times, showing that tradition is not something fixed, but something that grows and advances. The highlights of the Gangneung Danoje is, without doubt, the Dano Good, which continues late into each night. The hereditary shamans, who pass their practices down through families, perform over 20 different rituals during the festival. Since ancient times, the ritual ground has been a place for encounters between gods and humans, a space for harmony in the entire universe. The wishes of farmers who lived their whole lives depending on the land, prayers for community peace and family happiness, all come together to make the gut of the Gangneung Danoje not a solemn scene, but a joyful and festive performance. The applause and laughter of people filling the ritual ground, together with the spirited performance of the shamans, make the passion of the festival burn ever hotter. At the wrestling ground, every display of skill that decides the match is met with admiration and cheers. And in the children's wrestling competition, laughter and smiles never cease. At the swing grounds, people of all ages ride the long ropes cutting through the wind. And in the many folk games, people lose themselves, forgetting the passage of time. In the experience zones, visitors wash their hair with water boiled with iris roots, make fans for the summer with their own hands, and taste the sacred wine and suri rice cakes activities that capture curiosity beyond time and nationality. The representative traditional performances of the Gangneung Danoje, such as the Gwanno Mask Play and the Haksan Odokbegi, along with modern performances enjoyed by all generations. For 8 days, during the Danoje, the Namdaecheon festival site was never without crowds of people. A festival where all join together, transcending social status, carrying the wishes of people for safety and prosperity. The Gangneung Danoje, lasting over 30 days, finally closes with the farewell rite and the purification rite. Even under the persistent surveillance and control of Japanese colonial rule, the Gangneung Danoje continued unbroken. A festival imbued with communication between gods and humans, with comfort and peace. The citizens of Gangneung did not bear the weight of life's hardships alone, but released them through joy and spirit, sharing them within the community. Recognized for its value, the Gangneung Danoje was inscribed as a UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. The pride of Gangneung, the pride of its people, once again draws the world's attention. Thus, another page in the 1,000-year history of the Gangneung Danoje is written.